My mother-in-law painted my entire bedroom bright yellow while I was at work, but that's not even the worst part. I'm a 27-year-old woman. My husband, Mark, is 29. We bought our first home 3 months ago. It's a Victorian fixer-upper. My pride and joy was the master bedroom. I spent weeks sanding the floors. I painted the walls a deep, moody emerald green. It looked like a magazine cover. Mark's mom, Brenda, is 58. She's always made snide comments about my taste. She calls it gothic and depressing. When we moved in, Mark gave her a spare key. It was strictly for emergencies. She lives 10 minutes away. Big mistake. Yesterday, I came home early from work with a migraine. I heard humming upstairs. I walked into the master bedroom and froze. Brenda had pushed all our furniture into the center of the room. She was painting my emerald walls a bright, sterile, hospital yellow. To make matters worse, she hadn't put down a drop cloth. She was wearing her outdoor shoes on my bedspread. There were yellow paint splatters all over my vintage Persian rug, which cost me $1,200. I screamed. I didn't mean to, but I just lost it. Brenda jumped and said, "Oh, you're early. I was trying to surprise you." She continued, "Mark looked so pale lately. I thought this room needed some sunshine." I told her to get out immediately. She tried to argue that she was only half done. I literally snatched the roller from her hand and marched her to the door. I took her key off her keychain before slamming the door. Within the hour, I called a locksmith. It cost $250 for an emergency call-out to change the locks. I also booked a professional cleaner for the rug and a painter to fix the walls. Total estimated damage, $2,400. When Mark got home, he saw the half-yellow walls and the ruined rug. He agreed Brenda was out of line. But when I told him I changed the locks and emailed Brenda an invoice for the damages, he flipped. He says I'm treating his mother like a criminal. He thinks demanding money is tacky because she was trying to do something nice, even if it was misguided. Now his whole family is blowing up my phone. They're calling me a bridezilla. They say I should be grateful for the free labor. Mark is sleeping on the couch until I apologize for the lock stunt. So, am I the a-hole for banning my mother-in-law and billing her for ruining my sanctuary? Did I overreact, or is my husband's family crazy? Let me know what you think. I served my mother-in-law a lawsuit on a dinner plate. Now my husband won't even look at me. I'm a 28-year-old woman. I handed my 61-year-old mother-in-law a small claims court summons during Sunday pot roast. And now, my 30-year-old husband is furious. We have a rescue greyhound named Ghost. He suffers from severe pancreatitis. This isn't a preference. One fatty meal can literally kill him. My mother-in-law has always made snide comments about how skinny he is, even though the vet says he's at a perfect racing weight. She claims I'm starving the poor thing because I weigh his kibble. Last Tuesday, my husband and I went to a concert. My mother-in-law insisted on watching Ghost to save us the kennel fee. I hesitated, but my husband promised she understood the rules. I left a typed list taped to the fridge in bold red ink. It said, "No human food, water only." We came home at 11:30 p.m. to the sound of Ghost screaming. I've never heard a sound like that. There was vomit everywhere, bloody and greasy. Then I found it, an empty 12-piece KFC bucket in the trash. When I confronted her, my mother-in-law rolled her eyes and said, "He looked hungry, so I gave him a little treat. A little chicken's skin never killed anyone. You're being hysterical." She fed him the entire bucket, skins, grease, and bones. We spent the next 48 hours at the emergency vet. Ghost was on IV fluids, painkillers, and had to have an obstruction cleared. He barely made it. The final bill came to $4,850. When I sent my mother-in-law a picture of the invoice, she texted back, "I'm not paying $5,000 for a dog's tummy ache. Maybe if you fed him properly, he could handle real food." My husband tried to play peacemaker. He begged me to eat the cost because his mom is on a fixed income and didn't mean harm. I told him that was non-negotiable. Yesterday, she came over for our weekly family dinner, acting like nothing happened. She even joked, "Is the prince feeling better?" When she sat down to eat, I walked out of the kitchen and placed the official court summons on her empty plate. She read it, turned purple. and threw her wine glass at the wall before storming out. My husband says I ambushed his mother and humiliated her over a mistake. He's currently sleeping in the guest room, saying I chose a dog over family. So, am I the a-hole? Am I the a-hole for serving her the lawsuit like that? What would you have done? You won't believe what happened on Reddit today. A 31-year-old man literally started shaking when I pulled the envelope out of my wife Sarah's 29-year-old woman gym bag looking for her headphones. It wasn't a love letter. It was a property tax assessment for a unit in the Marina Heights complex, a luxury building across town. The owner listed was Sarah. Here's the kicker. For the last 3 years, we have been living in a damp, cramping basement suite to save for a down payment on a house. I drive a 2012 Honda with no AC. I've picked up extra shifts every weekend for months. Sarah always told me she was putting every spare cent into our joint dream home fund, claiming she was barely scraping by after paying her student loans. I confronted her the second she walked in. She didn't cry. She didn't apologize. She just sighed and said, "My mom told me never to tell you." Turns out, she didn't use her grandmother's inheritance to pay off her $45,000 student loans like she told me 2 years ago. She used it as a down payment on this condo. She's been renting it out for $2,400 a month. She has over $60,000 sitting in a separate high-yield savings account that I didn't know existed. While I was eating instant ramen for lunch to save $10, she was playing landlord. When I asked why she let me struggle, she dropped the bomb. "It's my running money. If you ever turn abusive or cheat, I need a place to go that you can't touch." I have never raised my voice at her. I have never given her a reason to doubt me. I told her that lying about finances is financial infidelity. I demanded she either sell the condo so we can buy a real house together or put the not the a-hole income into our joint account. She refused, saying I'm proving her point by trying to take her safety net away. She's currently staying at the condo, which I guess is technically hers, and calling me controlling. I feel like the last 3 years of shared sacrifice were a lie. Am I wrong for thinking this is a divorce-worthy betrayal? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. My husband is a secret millionaire. He let me walk to work in the snow, just to test my loyalty. I'm 27 years old, and my marriage just shattered. I found a bank statement hidden in an old sketchbook. For 3 years, I've been working double shifts. I was waiting tables and freelance editing. I did it all to support my 30-year-old husband, Caleb. He's a struggling painter, or so I thought. We live in a studio apartment. There's black mold in the bathroom. I skipped dentist appointments to buy him expensive canvases. I haven't bought new underwear in 2 years. Caleb always plays the martyr. He says, "We're building something real, babe," when I'm crying over the electric bill. Last week, he finally sold a painting for $4,000. We cried happy tears. I thought our luck had finally turned. Yesterday, I was cleaning his studio and knocked over a box. A statement from Vanguard Wealth Management fell out. It was in his name. I opened it. Balance, $2.4 million. I felt the blood drain from my face. I dug through his email. I know it was an invasion of privacy, but I didn't care. I found emails with his parents. They aren't estranged like he claimed. They sent him $5,000 a month. That $4,000 sale, it was a transfer from his dad labeled art purchase pity money. He has been watching me destroy my body, working 70 hours a week, all while he sits on a fortune. But that's not even the worst part. Last winter, my car needed an $800 transmission fix. I didn't have it. I walked 4 miles to work in the snow for a month. Caleb watched me walk out the door every morning in freezing rain, wrapped in a blanket. He knew he could fix it with a single debit card swipe. He let me suffer physically, to maintain his tortured artist aesthetic. When he came home, I was packing. I threw the statement at him. He didn't deny it. He looked me dead in the eye and said, "I needed to know you loved me for me, not my family's money. You passed the test. Why are you mad?" I'm currently at my sister's house. He's texting me saying I'm overreacting, and that we can finally move to a penthouse now. I feel like I was an unpaid actor in his poverty roleplay. I want to divorce him and sue for back wages. Did I overreact? What would you do? Let me know in the comments.